This week Blizzard shared that they're not pursuing their vision on PvE as they shared it back in 2019. But contrary to what some people are claiming, PvE is still happening, albeit different, smaller in scope. But what is left? What can we still expect? Let's have a look. Hey guys, I'm James from the Omnic Post. Before I start this video, this week I hit 15,000 subscribers here on YouTube. Thanks to all of you. And hopefully we can continue this story. So, tell your friends. My next goal is 20,000. That's a lot of people. To celebrate, I am doing a giveaway later in this video, so make sure to stick around. And thanks again for your continuous support. Alright, let's start this video. Because it has been a rough week. For everybody, no matter what your opinion is on this whole story. And believe me, also for the team itself. I made a video the day after the announcement on what I personally think happened. And last Friday, Aaron Keller, the game director for Overwatch, gave us an insight on their side of the story in his latest director blog. Turns out I was pretty close with my assumptions. Very close actually. And that is not because I am the next incarnation of Nostradamus. Patent pending. Or because I have cameras in the Blizzard offices. They found them a little too quickly. But because this is the reality of game development. As I've said a lot of times, passion is what drives us forward, but when it's not kept in check, it will burn us. No matter how big or small your team is. I witnessed similar stories from close by on several occasions. It is a sad reality, the flip side of an otherwise beautiful coin. Does this fully excuse them? No, it doesn't. There were definitely mistakes made, and as I've said multiple times, their communication was really bad. It's always been one of their weakest points. On the other hand, this is a reality. I've seen people starting petitions, talking about boycotts, getting really upset, and lashing out at the developers, which is never a good idea. Because at the end of the day, there is no way back. It doesn't exist. So if you plan to stick around and play the game, as I am planning to do, we only have one choice left. And it is to look forward and hope for the best. But above all, we need to stay grounded. I think for now, we're done getting excited. In one of my next videos, I'm going to look over that roadmap image that they shared and try and figure out what it all means. Because they themselves did not give a lot of context about that image. Which is again, that communication issue. Today, however, I want to try and do an educated guess on what is left for PvE. Based on what they told us back in 2019, what they told us earlier this week, and Aaron's director blog. Just know that I'm going to take a guess and then pitch it down. I want to lower the expectations. I think we can use it. It's for mental health purposes. That being said, as Aaron explained in his latest director blog, PvE, as they announced it back in 2019, had two big components to it. There were story missions, which are the main vehicle for all of the lore. It is the main storytelling tool. There are co-op missions where you play against AI with a whole series of objectives and a story arc included in the mission. In other words, much like archives. But according to Aaron Keller, leaps and bounds above anything they've ever built for PvE. And this is where I want to pitch things down. We'll see in Season 6 if that is correct, if that is actually the case. For now, we're going to assume that they're a little more elaborate than the archives missions. In the sense that they'll most likely be a little longer, that they'll be set on new and bigger maps, and that we'll see more cinematics and cutscenes. But in any case, those are still happening. They were not scrapped. Well, not all of them at least. Because for now, we do not know if they're only planning to do the main storyline or if we're also going to get side stories, which was the plan back in 2019. Are we going to see the Genji Zenyatta or the Genji Hanzo story? Ramatra Zenyatta? There's plenty of these stories that we want to see, but we'll find out soon enough, starting with Season 6. And then in that original plan, there were hero missions. These used those same locations as story missions, but the locations were smaller and they also had a faint story element to them. See, story missions will push the whole narrative of Overwatch forward. Hero missions do not, they just had their own little plot. Well, again, for as far as we know, because the only thing we got to see was back in BlizzCon 2019. One of those plotlines could have been, oh no, Talon has put a bomb on an ice cream van, and Winston likes his ice cream. Let's go help Winston to defuse the bombs. Basically like Blue's Clues for gamers. The question you might ask yourself is, if they're not adding to that general narrative, why are they even a thing? Haha! You were getting all excited for the answer on that question, right? Well, you have to wait a little longer, because first I want to do the giveaway. I'm giving away a $15 or €15 gift card for Overwatch. And all you need to do is make sure that you're subscribed to the channel, that you like this video, and leave me a comment. I want to know what your main hero is and what you think is their favorite dessert. Let me know in the comments. I'll give you a few seconds. Oh, you done? Okay. I'm going to pick a winner on Friday. Good luck. And thanks again for getting me to 15,000. Okay, let's continue. I was asking you if you were wondering what the use is of these hero missions. Well, they contributed to your PvE progression, which resulted in resources that you can use in the talent trees that are part of the hero missions. And with these talent trees, you could build different setups, allowing you to score a better time on a mission, or to just make those missions easier and get more resources and even rewards, like cosmetics. But in my opinion, the biggest benefit of these hero missions was that they added a replay value to PvE. They allowed players, if they would choose to progress their battle pass and their account solely by playing PvE. It would become a whole separate part, a whole separate game. Which is the reason that they scrapped hero missions. Because it was a whole separate game on top of the game that exists. And in other words, you cannot progress your account, your battle pass, by just playing PvE anymore, or not as easily. If you are very patient and you play a lot of these missions, you might. But in this new vision, PvE is a part of the experience on top of PvP. Quick play and competitive. Much like the arcade and the workshop, for instance. But that also means that we lost that replayability for PvE, which for me personally is the most worrying part of this whole story. What they also did is that they broke up that whole story, all of those missions, in separate parts that they will be releasing over different seasons. We don't know if that is going to be every season, every 2 seasons, every 4 seasons. That is something we'll need to wait and find out. The thing is, of course, once you played those missions a few times with different heroes and you did all of your challenges, you are basically done for that season with PvE, which is again something that worries me. But on the other hand, we're going to get new stories, we're going to get new Overwatch lore. And apparently they're looking into other ways of using that co-op system. Who knows, they might even find another way to add a replay value to these story missions. Which might eventually, in a few years, get us to a place where we have something that kind of resembles the hero missions. But I wouldn't get my hopes up. And I mean that very generally, on anything. As I said in my previous video, the proof is going to be in the pudding. The ball is in their court. Overwatch grew from the ashes of Project Titan. And as Aaron said himself, let this disaster be the birthing ground of a new Overwatch. We'll be watching, we'll be listening, and in my case, I'll be yelling to a camera. But we're all going to be waiting for Season 6. I'm already feeling bad for Season 5 at this point. Tell me, are you still looking forward to PvE or have you given up? Let me know in the comments. Join me during my streams on twitch.tv/DamesIsTV and make sure to subscribe for more updates on Overwatch.